Welcome to week 3 of changing my life. I saw that there was 5 likes on the last week's video, which I think is really amazing. The fact that people are watching this. This is pretty much like a journey for myself, but the idea that people might be tuning in or might be rooting for my success or thinking about their own lives in a similar way is really cool. It's definitely a work in progress. The quality of the videos are going to start off really bad. It might stay that way the whole way through, but I'm hoping that little by little I can improve the production of it and make it more tenable as a viewer to bear. So I think that for these weekly videos, I'm going to break it into 3 sections, which is general reflection on the meaning of this journey, sort of a follow up on what my goals were from the last week, and then a third part, which is what I'm going to do for the following week. I'm also going to try to add bookmarks. So if you only care about certain journeys, then you can skip through it, which I think might be nice. So first and foremost, this journey is about me being happy with my life and feeling fulfilled and that I don't have to prove anything. Even though there's a lot of, actionable items that I'm trying to generate each week and act upon, the ultimate goal is just satisfaction. And it might be that there is no thing that I can do to be satisfied. It might be a state of mind that I have to reach. So I'm not really sure how to integrate that into this journey so far, but it might have to do some dual program of both action and then perspective to be happy with where I am in life. Just for context about who I am as a person, I grew up really shy. I didn't really know how to make friends going into middle and high school and even college. And when I look back at photos from that time, I feel super lonely. Like, it's hard to even speak now because I think I have such a good idea of what I want to say and how I feel about those times. But when I try to actually say it, it's like pushing something through a door that I won't fit through. It's really frustrating because I just couldn't be in the moment. I have a lot of regret in that part of my life because I just felt like I was constantly on the sidelines thinking about living life but not actually doing it. And because of that, I felt like I fell behind in a lot of different ways, like with dating or career or sense of style, like all of these different things, which I'm now trying to catch up on. And what I've found is that it's really hard. Like, it takes so much conscious effort to get anywhere in life. And I really wish it wasn't the case. I think that when I look at some people who look put together in my perspective, I think, wow, it probably was so easy for them. They probably always had this. And for me, I had to work so hard to get there. Um, but I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure everyone has had the same struggles and more that I'm not aware of, but that's something that kind of sucks to live in that mindset. What I want to do, why I'm making these series is because I want to feel like an active participant in my life. I want to feel like I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not wasting my day watching YouTube, just scared to see whether I can actually become a person. I'm actually going to try to be a person. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about this week. Okay, just like the series promises, I'm going to go through each of the things that I mentioned in last week's video and talk about my progress. The biggest thing that I was trying to focus on was getting a new job. And I put that off almost the entire week. I kept trying to wake up early before work to spend an hour on my computer going through grad programs and seeing which ones appeal to me to just get a general sense of what you can do for a career and with your life. And I think it was too big for me, and I got overwhelmed, and I just kept putting it off. It's like, oh man, I woke up too late. I only have 30 minutes before I have to go to work. I might as well just watch YouTube and kill the time instead of doing any work. And I think it took until Saturday, when the week's almost over, I woke up from a dream about me not doing this work that I had set out for myself. And when I woke up, I was like, you know what? Like, what if I'm just the kind of person who did that work instead of what I've been doing all week? So it just sort of clicked, and then I I did it. I like started to look on websites and make an Excel sheet of all the grad programs that there are, and go by like down the list. I only got through one program, granted, but I felt like I was really happy that I finally like did this thing which I've been putting off for probably like a year and a half even. So yesterday, or I guess no, so like today I was supposed to do that again, although like for circumstances out of my control, it just really wasn't possible. So tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up, spend the first hour continuing on this search, and then go to work after. Even if I'm late, it doesn't matter. Like my job isn't that strict on time, so I'm just gonna make this the priority. No matter when I wake up, the first hour is gonna be dedicated to this search. I don't know if anyone else has had this problem, but I have a really hard time when I get overwhelmed by things. If something's bigger than what I can see, then I just freeze and short circuit. So something that I found really helpful this week was counting. Um, I was at like a a vintage market, and there was a bunch of booths, and it really scared me like having to walk by and like, make eye contact with so many people. So what I did was I just counted all of the booths that I walked by, like 1, 2, 3, and it really helped me get through. And I counted like 29 booths. I'm like, okay, 29 booths. Like maybe I can just start visiting one, and then two, and then three, and it helped me kind of get my bearings in that situation. And the same with these grad programs. Like I counted all the grad programs I saw, and once I got that count, it just made it easier for me to start going down the list, which is weird. I don't know how that worked. But for my room, it looks pretty much the same from last week. I said that I was going to get plants, and I did actually. I'll put a picture of it. I looked on Facebook Marketplace, and I showed up to this woman's house, and she's like, take your pick. And this one had the prettiest, I'm looking at it right now, it had the prettiest vase I saw, and I thought it was like a fern, but apparently I just bought clippings of a fern, which makes me an idiot. I spent $10 on like the dead leaves, or like soon to be dead leaves of a plant instead of a plant itself. Um, so, um, I did, however, at that market I referred to earlier, meet somebody who was selling plants, and they told me about this Facebook group where they do a free exchange of plants. So I'm gonna this week. Oh, I'm not supposed to do that yet. This is just the recap. Okay, this is just the recap. So that's sort of like maybe a next step I might take to continue on this plant thing and have some sort of continuity in my journey for this series. For fashion, I was saying how I wanted to basically pick one piece of clothing that I wanted and then build an outfit around that. So these jeans that I was referring to are these kind of like 12, 14-inch like jean shorts, which are like very early 2000s. I had my girlfriend who was super helpful and showed me a bunch of like options I could get, and I bought it. So it hasn't come in yet, but for this next week, I'm gonna see if they fit, and hopefully they fit. I make it work. I'm going to buy more clothes around that item, and see if that helps me in this sort of anxiety I feel around having a sense of style. So, unfortunately, there's not much to update, but it was just sort of a, having people close to you helps with these sort of things. For drawing, I said I was gonna just keep the streak every day, and by the time we got to this video, I would have been, much better at it. And that's not the case, unfortunately. After I made that video, I tried drawing that very night, and I did horribly. I keep trying to follow these YouTube videos called like the Loomis method, where it's very mathematical, and you go piece by piece on the face to draw it. And it just it just wouldn't click for me. So out of frustration, I just tried drawing a face just all at once, and it looked much better. than anything I had done before. So I still don't really want to show that progress yet, but this drawing thing, I still want to stay true to like the continuity of the series and stick to my goals. So I'm going to again make this a priority of drawing. I think I'm gonna jump off and do this sort of my own way method of doing it all at once. I just need to get better at drawing eyes. Like I'm just pretty bad at the eyes so far. So maybe I'll learn how to draw individual parts of the face, but then for the whole thing, forget about this mathematical thing of positioning all the parts of the face and just do it like how I see it. For reading, I did get that book I was talking about from the library that I put on hold. It's called War on Peace by Ronan Farrow, who's like the son of Mia Farrow and Woody Allen, I think. It's really good so far. It's talking about the fall, or I guess the collapse of diplomatic practices in our government. And, you know, I'm not really that intelligent. I'm not that up to date with politics. What, establishment, drain the swamp, all of these things we talk about. So it's kind of just interesting to see an inside look at it. But I'm just started it. I'm reading it on the train when I go to work. So I'm very happy to have reading back in my life. So this is a good thing. Okay, we've made it to the part of the video where I'm going to talk about my goals for this next week. I think in order to be happy, I need to do the things that I say I'm going to do, things that matter to me. So this first, for getting a job, I'm going to continue to work every day, first thing in the morning, going through these grad programs, getting an understanding of what clicks with me, what doesn't, helping narrow down this search. I don't want the world at my fingers. I want like 4 things at my fingers. That's enough for me. Like I can't handle this idea that I could do anything. I want to be able to do like 4 things and pick from that. That would make me happy. For my room, I'm going to do my best to go to this exchange, Somerville Exchange, join the Facebook group, maybe try to get a plant again, but my main objective, join this Facebook group, try getting a plant. That's enough for me for that, like for the room. The desk thing I was talking about, I'm moving out of this house like in a couple months. It's just not worth it. So, whatever. For fashion, I'm going to check out these pants, pray to God that they fit, and that I don't look like a total doofus, and try to go from there. So we'll see where that goes. For drawing, I really just got to make the time to draw eyes. So maybe that's just this week. I'm just gonna draw eyes this whole week. That's the mission, okay? And then finally for reading, I'm doing great. I love reading. This is part of me that I've loved about myself for a long time. So now that I'm back to reading, it feels good. And this is like a good part of this journey. Filling my life with things that make me feel good and which I like about myself. Wow. I have 2 other things that I haven't talked about, which probably should be on the list. And the first one is like social network. I really want to expand my social network. And I've been, going out, like forcing myself to go out over the weekends, which has been really helpful. And I met someone this last week who runs a newspaper. And I followed them on Instagram. And this week, I want it to be my mission to reach out to them, follow up on a conversation we had, to meet like in person and hopefully talk about me writing for this newspaper, which would be so exciting. Yeah, so that'd be awesome. The 7th and last thing is my fitness. I don't have the biggest muscles, and a big reason for that is joint pain that prevents me from doing mostly anything at the gym. I have struggled with like elbow and knee pain for a long time, and it's like a very debilitating, hopeless sort of cause. Whenever you try to work on it, for my case, it's just I've only gotten so far before going back to square one and like not being able to walk without pain. So this week, um, I'm gonna try to do some ankle exercises that had worked for me like a year ago when this pain had gotten this bad. Just because the program I was on for knee stuff ended up not working, at least for the moment. So just as a tangible goal for my fitness, I'm gonna try to do 4 times this week. I'm trying to do the ankle stuff that worked for me last time I was in this rut. Sorry that I'm not more clear on what that whole issue is, but like I said, work in progress. So if these videos suck, it's your fault for getting in on the action too early. Again, thank you for watching, and please leave comments because I love comments. Bye.